Greetings to the warriors of future. And before I begin, I would like to express heartfelt wishes to the aspirants and their families. May the winds of fortune always favor you. So before we start, just let me know, am I audible? Okay, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, Deepak, Ananya, you all are giving me answers. Thank you. So we begin. My father, who laid down his life for the nation, was still wearing olive greens when his mortal remains came home. I was all of 7 years old, and since then, pictured myself wearing the uniform. Do you have it in you? The billboard screamed from the skies, and a handsome face with a peak cap and sword loomed larger than life. Oh, yes, I do have it in me. A tiny voice spoke inside me. Just give me a chance to prove myself. An impossible dream, the word told me. Army is only for boys. But I was not ready to stop. I wrote 2 letters to then Prime Minister of India, requesting him to have ladies in Indian Army. Well, I wanted to wear olive greens at a time when army was not for girls. Of course, other than lady doctors. Never underestimate the immense potential of dream. If you want something desperate enough, the powers of universe will conspire and make it happen for you. In my case, as if on cue, magnificent gates of Officers Training Academy, Chennai, were opened for women in the year 1993. And I was at the right place, at the right time, at the right age. The olive greens were now no longer a dream, but a reality. The sweat, the blood, and the toil of training felt like baptization. And on a sunny day of 20th August 1994, gloriously commanding the contingent with a Medal of Honor, I became the women officer number 77 of Indian Armed Forces. The day I wore the olive green uniform, the boot, the belt, the beret, the stars, I felt different. I felt proud. Merely wearing the uniform was not enough. I wanted to prove that I have it in me. And I volunteered to be the first lady officer to be posted to extreme cold climate and high altitude areas of Leh and Ladakh. Ooh, it was no cakewalk. In sub-zero temperature, rarefied atmosphere, a lone lady officer trying to stay physically and professionally strong in a male-dominated work environment. All the time telling herself, yes, I have it in me. As the 2-year tenure neared the successful completion, Operation Vijay, the Battle of Kargil, had started in the icy heights. The year was 1999. We were thrown into the thick of battle, and regiments upon regiments of Indian Army were being inducted at Leh and areas beyond. And as a logistics officer, my role was to equip the fighting forces with special clothing, battle gear, all kinds of ammunition, and all the other stores to enable them to fight a battle in uncongenial environment. And to make the matters tricky, I was mother of a toddler and pregnant with an unborn child at that time. And I'm very proud to say that, notwithstanding the medical conditions, I became the first lady officer from the logistics wing of Indian Army to be in battle zone ever. I was awarded a thumping battle report and two medals. Well, I'm wearing them here, though you cannot see them, but they are here. Let me share an interesting fact that my elder sister is a doctor. She served with naval hospitals. She is married to a naval officer. I, an army officer, got married to an army officer. And my younger sister is a serving Air Force officer. And yes, you have guessed it right. She is married to an Air Force officer. I call this Trishakti. We have unleashed the power of warrior within us. And let me ask you, do you have it in you? When we talk of army, the first thought that comes to mind is uniform. The charm and pull of uniform attracts most young men and women. Oh my God, we face an electricity cut, but we are 4Gs, we are not going to stop. So we are having this temporary arrangement. Is it okay? Fine. So we begin. No stopping here. So the charm and pull of uniform attracts most young men and women to join defense forces. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, if you feel the same about the uniform and it rings true with you. If clothes make the uniform, if clothes make a man, the uniform identifies him. Uniform is the physical manifestation of pride, glory, guts, honor, and commitment. The olive green of army, the sky blue of Air Force, and the shining whites of Navy become the identity of the person wearing it. And throughout the career, our 4G is driven to decorate the uniform by earning the medals, the stars, the maroon, the wings, the ribbon, the submarine, or the badges of squadron. And you will be surprised to know, my dears, that without speaking a single word, with one look at the uniform, the entire career span of a 4G can be decoded. So, just know that uniform that you aspire to wear is not any other garment. It is a matter of glory. It is worn with pride and unleashes the warrior within. Let me ask you, do you have it in you? What does it mean to be an officer of Indian Armed Forces? It is a combination of mental attributes like positive attitude, effective intelligence, sense of responsibility, decision making, organizing ability, social adaptability, and initiative. At 21, 22, you are an army officer. Tell me, just think and tell me, which other organization treats you as a leader from day one? Not for a day in Indian Army. You are considered a fresher or an intern. From the word go, you are trained to be a leader. You are trained to take decisions in split second. Serious decisions. Decisions in matters of lives and death of the men you command. Not only them, Your decisions impact the present and future of their families, their old parents, wives, and children, and sometimes their unborn children too. The men you command will accept your leadership because such is the command structure. But you will have to earn their faith, trust, and sense of oneness that transcends the boundaries of seniority. And once you prove yourself worthy of their faith, and they know that you will willingly sacrifice your welfare, mind you, same minute, they will willingly lay down their lives at your one command. It is the only service where you are trained to kill and trained to die. During Operation Vijay, of which I was a part, very popularly known as Battle of Kargil, there are innumerable stories of young leaders of 24, 25 years who were instrumental in leading their men to victory against very well entrenched enemy. Not merely leading them, but leading from front. Real heroes do not ask, how is the Josh? They strive to keep the Josh high, overcoming all odds in places where temperature is dipping to minus 30 degrees, oxygen levels just reducing to half, and climbing the punishable 17,000 to 18,000 feet high rugged mountains of almost 70-degree gradient, totally focused on one objective: the superhuman attitude and officer-like qualities unleash the warrior within. And so let me ask you, do you have it in you? Okay. So I've asked this question many times. Do you have it in you? Let us decode the words, do you have it in you? What is the implied meaning? And as a defense aspirant, what are you supposed to have to join the services? What does army want from you? You want to know that? Okay. You are supposed to have two things only: passion and attitude. Passion to wear uniform and attitude of a warrior. When you appear for SSB, you are not expected to know how to fire a weapon or run a battle proficiency endurance test. But experts will select you for the passion and attitude. Rest everything can be imbibed and learned. But these two words define your personality, your way of speaking, your mindset, drive, confidence, and mental ability. Mental toughness, not to mention the least. Well, how to fire a gun will not be deal, but do you have the attitude to fight hand to hand battle with the enemy, looking at him to eye, taking out your kukri or bayonet and charging with the war cry? It is the heart of steel, sher jigar that we are looking for, not for some gym-induced six-pack abs. What else a defense aspirant must keep in mind is that in army, you are supposed to be a team player. There is no place for individual glory. One cadet coming first in marathon does not count. Rather, how has been the performance of entire company that gets a shabash? Ask any officer, and all of us remember the collective punishments we used to get in academy. Entire course is punished for the mistake of one individual. At that time, we cursed, covered in bruises and own puke. Yes, own puke. But when we look back to academy days, it has a very big lesson. See, electricity has come, just as we said, there's a big lesson from Ragada. Okay, what is the lesson that we learnt in academy? The lesson was all for one and one for all. The training is aimed at breaking individuality and giving birth to a leader who takes everyone ahead together towards the goal. It is called Esprit de Corps. Front roll, back roll, side roll, Maharaja, cream roll, egg roll, seventh heaven, 4 square meals. Baffling? They are the words that attain new meaning in academy and stay with us throughout the lives. They serve two aims. One, to know your breaking point, and two, how much stress you can take. The training in academy is designed to shape your overall personality and turn you into a professional soldier of highest degree. Throughout the career, an officer undergoes constant upgradations. So, training does not stop in academy. Throughout the career, we keep undergoing training and keep undergoing constant upgradations in the craft of war, technologies, the new equipments. I'm sure you all remember the Rafale when it entered into Indian airspace, a matter of national pride. Well, as you are aware that with the arrival of any new weapon or any new armament, technology, anywhere in the world, the scope of war expands globally. And hence, to stay relevant and to be one of the best, the emphasis is on constant training. Army men get to serve in all parts of country in extreme weather conditions ranging from -40 to +50. We are trained for high altitude warfare, mountain warfare, desert warfare, jungle warfare, amphibious operations, special operations, covert and overt operations, you name it. Overall, we are trained to operate in any climatic condition, in any terrain. This is the uniqueness of Indian armed forces. Besides serving in all parts of India, we get opportunities to visit foreign countries and operate with friendly foreign armies, be it for training, for tactical exercises, or as part of United Nations peacekeeping forces. And listen carefully, on top of it, it is not only serving on this planet, the Indian armed forces even gives you a fair chance to go into the space. Yes, you heard it right. Do you remember squadron leader Rakesh Sharma, an alumni of National Defense Academy, was a serving Indian Air Force pilot when he went into the space, the first Indian to go to the space. Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourself. As we speak, right at this minute, 4 Air Force pilots are currently undergoing astronaut training in Russia. And at the end of their 12 months training, 1 or 2 out of the 4 will be finally named to circle the earth in the first crewed Gaganyaan of India. Think of it. You may be the next one. Let me ask you, do you have it in you? In services, sports is a tool that is extensively used for team building, mental agility, and physical fitness. A large organization like Indian Army that takes physical fitness very seriously, it is bound naturally. That's a natural progression. It is bound to churn out stars in the field of games and sports because they are loaded with the motto of fight for glory. Who doesn't remember Captain Milkha Singh, the flying Sikh, Colonel Rajyavardhan Singh Rathore, the Olympic bronze medal in shooting, Subedar Jeetu Rai, Khel Ratna and Padma Shri awardee for pistol events in Commonwealth Games, Havaldar Ram Singh Yadav, second Indian to qualify for marathons in Olympic, Sipahi Irfan Todi, national record of race walk, Captain Gopal Devang, silver medalist in Asian Games, boxing. The list is endless. To promote sports and gold in next Olympic Games, Indian Army has launched Mission Olympic. The Army Adventure Nodal Center conducted a ski expedition to South Pole, the first rafting expedition at Saichen in freezing waters of Nubra and Shyok rivers, desert equestrian expedition on horseback, and many more such events. You too can be a part of it all, and so let me ask you, do you have it in you? Defense aspirants, you are a rare blood. Know it in your bones. You are a rare blood. The moment you dedicate best part of your life preparing for SSB, nothing is same again. Never, ever. And as you prepare for entrance, I wish you all the best. Do well. Remember, SSB is a single test. SSB is a simple test where you have to be yourself. You are tested for synchronization of mind, heart, and body. First impression. Hello. Am I visible? Am I audible? Just wait a minute. There is, okay. Am I visible again? There was some technical glitch. Okay. So we were preparing for SSB and you are bound to have those dhadak dhadak. So I think computer also went dhadak dhadak. Okay. As I was saying, first impressions really make a lot of difference. And that is true for SSB also. Be original. Showcase your qualities positively. Always stay motivated and have willpower. There is a thin line between confidence and overconfidence. Beware of overconfidence. It can spoil your chances in a big way. And yes, I can see people laughing with the word dhadak dhadak. Okay. Various tests at SSB are aimed at bringing out your basic instincts. So, Be what you are. Just be what you are. A very common question asked during SSB is, why do you want to join army? Answer truthfully. Because every person has their own reasons and own thoughts. Your answer must convey your passion and attitude. Let me share a story. I am basically a storyteller. So you are up for a story? Okay. A young, modest boy from Rudha village, Sitapur district of Uttar Pradesh, reached SSB center. His father ran a small pawn shop in Lucknow. The boy had big dreams of wearing uniform. And not just this, he wanted to be the best in whatever he does. So he went for SSB. During SSB, he performed very well in all tasks. And when faced the interview board, he was asked the same dreaded question: why you want to join the army? And he answered very matter of factly, I want to join army because I want to get Param Veer Chakra. A very, very unusual reply, and it could have been scoffed at. But there was something in his attitude that conveyed steel. The boy, and yes, I can see here Akshita Sharma answering it correct. The boy was Shaheed Captain Manoj Pandey, Paramveer Chakra, hero of Battle of Kargil. He actually proved that he had it in him. As per the latest statistic, there is a shortage of around 9,000 officers in Indian Army. But the recruitment process shall never be diluted just to fill the vacancies. We are willing to wait for the right candidate rather than just fill the vacancies and compromise with the quality requisites. Quality supersedes quantity when it comes to selection process of Indian armed forces. So my dear defense aspirants, have faith in your effort. Awaken the warrior within you and hold the bull by the horns. Everyone remembers Kargil hero, Param Veer Chakra, Vikram Batra, the lion heart, the Sher Jigar. He unleashed the warrior within when he and his men captured the enemy position. He laughed and said, Ye dil mange more. Kya josh hai. Paramveer Chakra Manoj Pandey single-handedly laid many Pakistanis to rest with his gleaming kukri as he got a clean bullet wound to his forehead. Still, his last words to his Gorkha soldiers were, Na chodnu, means don't leave them. Even in his last breath, he gave the instructions to his Gorkha men in Gorkhali that don't leave the Pakistanis. Imagine his josh and attitude. He had unleashed the spirit of warrior in him. And as you move on to the path where glorious men, full of pride and honor, have trodden before you, remember, the legends and larger than life men have stood exactly where you stand now. So awaken the warrior within. And when you see a billboard screaming, do you have it in you? You scream back with Josh, yes, I have it in me. Jai Hind. So I hope you all enjoyed the session. You learned from it. And I see a question here, does it make a difference if we are from non-military background? And the question is Preksha Joshi. Preksha, I just told you the story of Paramveer Chakra Vikram Batra. I told you the story of Manoj Pandey. They were not from army background. So just control, select, delete from your minds that you need to be from army background to get into army. No, you need only two things. You remember what did I tell you? Two things. What? Answer me here. I'm waiting for your answer. Passion and attitude. Okay, so I have few questions here. Well, it asks me, what inspired you to join the Indian Army or Indian Armed Forces? I answered this question in the beginning of the talk, and I'll repeat it. My father was in army. Yes. He died while he was in service. That was a huge motivation for me. I was only 7 years old since the time I started living the dream of wearing olive greens. Well, olive greens at that time were no longer a possibility. But I wanted to wear a uniform. And so I started preparing for police, for IPS services. But as I said in my talk, that at the right time, at the right age, and at the right moment, the army opened its gates for women officers and I could join the services. My father was from the glorious Assam regiment, and that has propelled the dream of wearing the olive greens in me. So that was my passion and my junoon and my jazba. Well, the next question here is, what are the important factors which should be kept in mind while choosing between two equally important outcomes of one's career and life? कहते हैं ना, सुनो सबकी, करो अपने मन की. So, listen to your heart. Have faith in your dreams. But also look at the ground reality, whether it is an achievable target. And once you have finalized, then go all out, all guns blazing. Okay, so we'll move on to next question, and I'm wearing my glasses so I can read better. How does one deal with their anger and frustration, knowing they are right about something, but everyone else thinks otherwise? फौज में आना चाहते हो, parents आने नहीं देना चाहते. Does that is what implied from it? The only solution, their capability, and their coming. I tell you, no one else give you a more unbiased advice than your parents or siblings. So the key word is to speak out, to share with them. And as you are educated about a certain future that you want to have, educate your parents, educate your siblings as well, and bring them over to your side. And more so ever, thankfully, The new education policy makes it possible for all of us and for all the future generation to have a course correction at a later date also. So we move on to next question. Which are the 5 leadership qualities that everyone should have? Oh, preparing for army, thinking of leadership qualities. Yes, I have certain leadership qualities in my mind, and I would really like to share them with you. In my opinion, character is supreme. A leader must have an impeccable character, integrity. Integrity that inspires honesty and loyalty. Empathy. A leader must know what the men under his or her command are feeling and can share the thoughts. Leader must have courage, courage to lead, including courage of conviction. And a leader must be an inspirational person. So I hope I have answered that question. Okay. Can my choice of leaving my job to pursue my dream of joining armed forces affect my chances of cracking SSB? Not at all. No. Capital bold italics. No. In fact, presently, you are at the wrong place. Because if your heart is set to wear the uniform, if your dream was to join Indian Defense Forces, and you are now thinking of course correction, then go ahead. Because SSB also looks only for 2 things, passion and attitude. So if you want to come, switch over your career and come to army with passion and attitude, yes, this is the place for you. Okay, now I am over with questions here. But I had one question. This question was from Yash Rikhari, and the question was, wait, I had written it down. What drives an army person to willingly sacrifice his life for nation? Congratulations, Yash Rikhari, for this question. Very beautiful question, but very difficult to answer. Life is precious. No one wants to die. Even a Fauji does not want to die. Continuous training from the day one imbibes in the soldier the motto of the Izzat of Paltan. And we live by the motto of Naam, Namak, and Nishan. Naam of Paltan, Namak of country, and Nishan means of the country. Well, Fauji always knows, a Fauji always knows that even if he gives his supreme sacrifice, his regiment, his army, and his nation will always take care of his loved ones whom he's leaving behind. And so, this is what keeps a Fauji going. His life. I was asked, I was giving a talk, and a question I was asked was, and I'd like to share with all of you. I was asked, what is the DNA of Indian Armed Forces? What is the DNA? What do we think? How do we perform? How can we give our best in every eventuality, may it be floods, may it be curfew, may it be Galwan, may it be Kargil, may it be any emergency like situation, the DNA of Indian Army is etched in Chetwood motto. The Chetwood motto says, and listen carefully, because what I'm going to share with you is the DNA of Indian Army. It is etched in the minds of those serving, and certainly of those like me who are veterans. The Chetwood motto says, the safety, honor, and welfare of country comes first, always and every time. The honor, welfare, and comfort of men you command comes next. Your own ease, comfort, and safety comes last, always and every time. This is a motto, this is the credo that drives Indian armed forces ahead in every stage of their lives, in every stage of their career. I hope you all enjoyed this session as much as I enjoyed bringing to you. Do well with your preparations for defense services. Go all guns blazing. Hold the bull by the horns. और जाओ फतेह करके आओ. Be at your best. Be original. And remember, fortune favors the brave. Be truthful to you. Godspeed. Take care. Stay safe. Jai Hind.